miserable. It was miserable to go out on stage. And at that time, really it came down to, do we go out there and take our frustration out on the people who were there, who paid, or work that much harder so that those people would go home and tell other people what they missed? There were reporters. I remember doing an interview, and a journalist said to me, they can be pretty unkind and they can forget that you are actually people. And he said to me, so how does it feel to be on the Titanic? And I remember thinking, nobody's going to decide when this is over. And that's enough of a reason for it to continue, is to show those pricks that we decide how long this is going to go on. And last night, look, there are people who, after last night's show, not here, but there's people going, oh, they said they weren't coming back, and why are they doing this? Those are the people who never wanted us around in the first place.
Right.
So we're not here for them, we're here for you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bar from Haifa, Israel.
מה השם שלך?
Bar
איפה נולדת?
in Carmel, I think.
גם כן אני. גרתי בדירת הכרמל.
כן, אני גרתי במרכז הכרמל, אני חושב, איזה שנתיים, ואז עברנו שוב ליד.
He said there are a lot of hot chicks here tonight.
And I wanted to ask,
That's cool.
what gave you the inspiration for the makeup and the characters of Starchild and the Demon?
I have to tell you that if we tried to verbalize it, I don't think we could, because it doesn't come close to the truth. One day, like a fable, one day you couldn't find more unqualified, no resume, no experience, knuckleheads from the streets of New York who were in a rat-infested loft that had no windows, huge cockroaches with mustaches. They were badass.
What you looking at?
You know, very bad. It was a bad place. Just one door in, one door out. And we were just blindly dedicated to this idea. You've heard it before. Let's put together the band we never saw on stage. You know, write the songs that we loved, kind of Anglophiles. And every day was like pulling teeth, but something was happening. The songs that we started to write in the beginning are the songs we continue to play today. So we got that right. And then we thought about, how do we stand out? Are songs enough? Because people are going to be looking at us also. And I swear to you, not one of us, not Paul, not myself, Ace or Peter, can lay claim to the idea that, oh, I said, let's all wear makeup, everybody be different personas, and I'll be the cat man and you be this and you be that. No, we just kind of, I don't know who said it. Let's go down to something like Woolworth's, a store. And I don't know how we wound up buying clown makeup. Paul bought red lipstick, thank you.
What's that?
Nothing. And we brought makeup on and we bought mirrors, cheap mirrors, that when you leaned them against the wall, they would warp a little bit. And each one of us somehow came up with our own, makeup that pretty much has stood the test of time. There is sometimes things just happen, and I don't know if it's fate or God or we just happened to fall into it. We didn't have a manager. Nobody was a marketing expert. Nobody used the word marketing. The magic of kisses has just happened.
Jane, Paul, did you have mirrors set up in the rehearsal room so you could watch how you perform to work on your stage moves and presence?
When we got a little bit further along. We met Bill Aucoin, who really was like the fifth member of the band. We never would have lasted, we never would have had the success that we built on without Bill. So Bill was really an instrumental part with the original four members, and his boyfriend was a guy named Sean Delaney. And Sean, in his own right, was visionary. And we went to a rehearsal basement, and Bill set up a camera, a video camera. And back then, it wasn't like everybody with their iPhones. That was a serious piece of equipment. And Sean sat there, and we would watch back the videos, like football players, like sports after a game. You watch to see what worked and what didn't. And that's the interesting part of it, because I remember thinking, oh, I'm really moving, you know, and I wasn't doing anything. You know, this doesn't do anything. This does. So you learn that the space around you is prime real estate, and you have to take advantage of it all. And it was during our rehearsals that after one of the songs, Sean said, "You need to do that move again." And we went, "What move?" And he goes, "This one."
Yes.
And we were like, well, that's corny. It's like, we don't choreograph what we do. And sure enough, he was right. We wound up, the three of us in the front, doing that. And, you know, it must have not only lasted and stood the test of time, but I can't tell you, well, you know how many other bands are out there doing some sort of form of that. So that was Sean Delaney. We can't take, as Gene was saying, we can't take the credit for everything. We've always surrounded ourselves, luckily, with people who enhanced what we were doing. You're only as good as your team. Nobody's going to win a game on their own. And with all respect, I mean, we wouldn't be here today if not for Peter and Ace and Gene and myself starting this. And we also wouldn't be here today without Tommy and Eric. So, is going to write. What an asshole Paul is. He didn't give the other, you know, the original guys their due. We wouldn't be here if not for those guys. And everything we built, this monument that's KISS, this monolith, is built on their shoulders and ours.
Let me ask a question. After Ace passed, I went down the rabbit hole and watched some videos. Let's talk a little bit about the Tom Snyder Show.
Yeah!
One of the funniest things. I don't know if you guys found it as funny.
We still don't know. We didn't find it very funny. It was scary. You know, we're out there.
We laugh about it now.
But I thought you were going to talk about that special, some of those early performances we did. I look at it now and just go, man, we were on fire. Peter was playing like a man possessed, and Ace was, you know, the epitome of a rock star. But when we did Tom Snyder, you know, promoting that personas, you know, and that iconic group of guys, and Ace shows up late, and he shows up a little beyond buzzed. You can see, Gene and I, it's like terror. It's like terror in our eyes. And Ace is there making jokes about he's the bass player, you know.
The plumber.
And Peter is enjoying every minute of watching us squirm. So that was a perfect portrait of the dynamics of the band.
Yeah.
It was Ace being crazy, and Peter loving how uncomfortable we were. And, you know, that combustiveness is what made KISS in the beginning what it was very, very different personalities that were together, and it was all for one and one for all. Even though, you know, we were careening all the time, we were going to take over the world. We were on a crusade.
And you did.
Tell me to fuck off.
I just said that you like say go fuck yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Julie from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am Indy. Hi, my teammate.
I came up with that. Go ahead.
No, Gene was Indy. Right, Gene? Remember I did that to your hat that time?
I'll move on.
No, please, move ahead. We're idiots. Go ahead.
My teammates and I just came in second place in the trivia contest, and we need some clarification. When did you start using the drum riser in concert? The answer given was the Destroyer Tour.
No,
Wrong.
It was Love Gun.
That was the answer. Much earlier than that, because we remember you talking about it in the Tom Snyder interview.
Absolutely. We,
It was early.
as a club band, had a drum riser, and Neil Bogart, who was the president of Casablanca Records, had this idea that the drums should go up in the air. It's a great idea, but we neither had the money or the technical ability to pull that off the way it could have been. So literally, we had a forklift behind and under the drums. And we didn't even have it motorized. There'd be guys back there pulling on chains, and the drums are going up, and sometimes they would tilt. So that was the original drum riser, and that was pretty much from the inception of our deal with Casablanca. So you're right if you're saying much earlier, much earlier.
Paul, I want to say, I didn't get to go because I wasn't 18 years old yet. They played the Cleveland Agora. They opened for Rory Gallagher, their first tour. And my friend, his dad, Hank LeConte, owned the club. And he took pictures, and he said the drums went up in the air, and then they blew off all the fireworks, and the fire alarms went off, and they had to empty the place out. So they were doing that, opening up for bands in the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Always. It didn't matter who we were playing with. Most bands, we were in a great position because nobody had seen a band doing anything, even on a small scale, of what we were doing. So we got away with murder. We were pipsqueaks. We were an opening act, setting bombs on stage. And back then, you didn't have what are now called pyrotechnicians. We had arsonists. We had some guy that liked to blow shit up. And one night it would be like that, and next night it would put a hole in the stage. So from the very beginnings of the band, we got away with whatever we wanted to do. There were headline bands who played with a Kiss sign behind them. So people didn't know any different. So we took control.
Gene, please tell them the story when you guys opened for Black Sabbath and Geezer Butler, they had the British flag.
This was very early on. It was in Boston, and we were the opening act, not full. And Geezer and the guys are waiting to get up on stage. And Ozzy, by the way, years later, told me about that. And I also read in interviews where he said so. I walked up in back of Geezer just to kind of check out the stage after we got off. You know, all bloodied and looking like I just crawled out of somebody's ass. Which is an interesting image. So with the heels and everything, and the old messy night must have smelled like, well, not good. So Geezer's a little guy.
Like you usually do.
Thank you. Thank you. So with the heels on, I'm 6'2", you know, add another 7 inches, that's 7 inches, right? So, I tower above him, And he turned around, didn't expect me to be there. And he went, "Oh." So apparently he went backstage and told Ozzy, you know, he's blowing, you know, I'm going, what the fuck are we doing here? They're blowing up and stuff. And Ozzy, in print, said something like, that's when he knew that this band was going to be big, that it instills fear in the headliner. He said, okay, this is a band that he got it. And the rest is history.
Gene, you said they had a British flag, and you asked him, why do you have that British flag on stage? You're in America.
Oh yeah, that's not an asshole. You got the British flag up there. What the fuck is this? Oh, America, you're in America, bitch, take that flag off. Anyway, that's not
Was there ever been a time, I'm sure there's been a few, when you were flying across with Love Gun or Gene, when you were going up to the rafters, where it didn't work the way it was supposed to?
Yes, I was at the show, 2000 Anaheim. Paul goes out, he makes it to about right there. So the people are grabbing his boots, he gets stuck. Then Gene came down, he got stuck with his feet about, the bottoms of his feet were about here, and the guys were trying to get him down. Both guys got stuck same show.
At one point, I think we were in Australia, and Gene had a different flying rig, and it would take him, instead of out, it would take him across the stage.
roll outdoors and
And so Gene does his bit before God of Thunder, and then he goes up in the air, and like a clothesline, they take him across the stage and smash him into the wall. And if that's not bad enough, they back up again and smash him into it again. And he comes down onto the stage and he goes, I'm hurt.
the rig wasn't working. To make matters worse, when they lowered me down, something about the gears, I was coming down upside down. So wasn't a good day.
I'm hurt.
Paul, my favorite story, but
I swear, back then, when Gene would, you see it in performance videos, Gene would just be lost. He really became that person or persona. And I can remember at one point he was doing something and I wanted to tell him to stop. And I look over and he's chewing on the monitor, on the speakers, and I thought, forget it.
That's a drug-free person.
Yeah.
Drug-free.
From West Indiana, questions for any of you. Aside from the flying rig incidents, were there ever a time that you looked back
Louder, please.
from the hazards of the stage? Were there ever times that you looked back and thought, hey, this probably isn't going to turn out well, to the point where you kind of feared for your life?
You know, about 2 years ago on the last tour, we were in Australia, and for the AFL, the big football league final. You guys remember in Melbourne? And we went out and did that pre-game show before it started. And these flames, the flame projectors, they had many of them. It was the hottest thing we've ever experienced.
It was so, that's probably the only time I can remember being terrified. They were using these, I don't know, some sort of gas. It was like a furnace. It was literally, and this is being broadcast and telecast all over Australia, New Zealand, and I was about to start running because my skin, the hair on my arms was burning.
Yeah, we thought like we were gonna melt. And there was completely surrounded us. It had, I don't know what the temperature was, but it was overwhelming. It was scary. But that was the one that stuck out to me.
I have to tell you, looking back on it now, there was no master plan about who we were, what we were. We created our own personas. And so when Bill O'Coin, our manager, in the beginning brought in, you know, a bald guy who was going to spit fire and singed the ceiling in the office, we're just sitting there going, oh, that's interesting. And the manager knew that one of us was going to be spitting fire every show until the end of time. And the story gets mixed up about which one, I must have heard wrong or something, but somehow my hand went up and okay, Simmons, you're the one that's going to be spitting fire. I had no idea that on the very first show, by the third number, Firehouse, of course, in those days, you take, like the girls will tell you, take the tip of your hair at the root and, spray it a lot so that it would stand up and you'd have really big hair. And on the can, I forgot to read, on the very first show, New Year's Eve, 73, 74, on the can of hairspray it says, Gene, you fucking ignoramus, don't spray it, you're gonna go up sure enough, I caught fire on the first show, not the only time, and they put me out and the audience went nuts, fucking great. And also other things happened, which I don't want to tell you about a fan who got hit in the face, that's another story. And then later on, there was a gag, a thing that I think was originally intended for Paul. So here's what's gonna happen, this piano wire on stage with no end, and you're going to fly up to the top of the light truss, however, they got 9 feet per second, or 6 to 9 feet per second, and you're going to go out there and sing a song up there with no net. And I remember hearing, fuck that, something like that. I thought, Simmons, you're going to be the, and I have to tell you, every show, with no exaggeration, I had to train myself to look straight ahead from up there, like higher than this, quite a bit higher than this. You're singing that, inside of so you got to look straight ahead, because if you look down underneath you, that's not a good idea. You get this kind of thing. And every day, and sometimes here's the platform, and I'm on stage here, and it's a tricky thing to fly me up and then forward, so I land on the top of the riser. Well, sometimes they take me forward, and I'd come up and bang my head under the platform, and then try. So it was never easy, and no net. So it's all about me.
We're talking, last few questions for you guys as we start to wind down. You were talking about Black Sabbath and Kiss opening for them, and how Black Sabbath knew that, we're in trouble. Was there ever any opening band that you had, not where you felt you're in trouble, but knew that, oh my God, these guys are great?
I think historically, one thing we're proud of is to a band and to any opening act, they'll tell you that we gave them everything. Very often, the opening bands get less lights, they turn the sound down, and all that's done because the headliner is scared. The whole idea for us has always been, we want the opening bands to go out there and be as great as they can, and then we'll go out and show you why we're the headliner. And if that doesn't happen, then we don't deserve to be the headliner. So we've always had great opening acts, whether it was Priest, Iron Maiden, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, AC Nugent, Rush, Tom Petty, AC/DC. The list goes on and on. And for us, it's always been, go out there and kill them. This is your chance. You decide. It's like gladiators. It's either this or this. And some of those bands all rose to the occasion, and some got thumbs down. But we've always been about championing opening acts because we were once there and we weren't treated well.
Is that when you opened with Black and Blues for Kiss? Is that what you remember, Tom?
It was great. Kiss does treat the opening acts really well. It was stage room, lights, video these days. So yeah, it was a great experience, and that's when I met these guys. The rest is history, really. That was 40-some years ago.
So, last night you guys played a great show. You mentioned future plans, a possibility, maybe future music. Will you do more shows? Because you guys look great. It was so much fun to watch.
It depends on if Gene can fit us into the schedule with his Gene Simmons band.
And can you envision that, Paul? What do you think?
We haven't talked about it. We're really proud of what we did last night. We were no different than we expected. We know what we're capable of, and it was great. What we'll do at this point, I have no idea. When we talk about a KISS cruise next year, the holdup with KISS cruises is that when we started doing them, nobody was doing that, as you well know. And then what happened is so many other bands started doing the same thing during cruises, that now it's virtually impossible to get a ship less than a year in advance. So
back then.
I guess we were doing something right, but it also makes it more difficult. This was, I don't want to say it was an alternative, because I think, I don't know about you, but I think this has turned out great.
Yes.
Just do it here next year again.
Last question. Gene, go ahead.
I heard you mention my name, shut up.
Last question for you. What's been your favorite thing about this whole weekend? Because it has been such a great experience, so much fun. Like the cruise, but it's different because we're not on the boat. Is there some things that stood out for you guys about not playing for 2 years and then being around all your fans? Again, it's such a great, great platform here.
I'll take this one to start with, but I think all of us should have a say. The favorite thing for us is, who would have imagined 50 years ago that we'd come this far? Who would have imagined me, that I'd finally get married, the bastard that I am? Who would have imagined that we'd have such amazing kids who are now grown people, who are multi-talented? Who would have imagined that Paul's son and my son are getting together for the main? Go on YouTube and ShmooTube and press the buttons and you'll see that. Just unbelievable.
Imagine our fans
But
over here that
my favorite thing besides your beautiful faces at the shows is our kids were there. They see, hey Dad, that thing, because that's what we do stuff for, right? Before they drag us kicking and screaming underground, you want your kids to be, that's my dad.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
My favorite thing is just the camaraderie of all you guys being here, so enthusiastic, and this is so important to you, to be here and be a part of this. Every time we do this, it's like a reunion, it's communal, and I think that part of it is amazing. And I know we're all going to see each other again. Maybe here, maybe it'll be a different setting, but it's going to be, I know we're going to do more. And I just appreciate everything that you guys bring to this, and the fact you love the band and you're so enthusiastic about it. So thank you guys. And I know we'll all see each other again.
Favorite thing of the week?
Favorite thing this weekend? Just everything combined for me. It's to me, sometimes you forget how much you enjoy playing music. Even though it could be in tough environments, but it reminds you of why you wanted to do it in the first place. Because at the end of the day, it almost comes down to playing and the music. That's it.
Take it home, Mr. Stanley.
I never, ever could have imagined this going as long as it has. And along with you, our children, like Gene was saying, are a part of this. And as opposed to going, hey, I was once in a band and, we had this rabid following, for them to see this and for also them to be together. I was thinking this morning, Evan and Sophie and Nick are like brothers. brothers and sisters. I mean, it's so weird to think that we've given birth to like wonderful people who love each other, have found their passions, and we get to share our success with them through looking at you. And we're as proud of you as we are of them, and we're all in this together. It's you know, it's Kiss World. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are the best. You got the best. Kiss.